In a world crying out for Thunderdome. The fans have spoken. 2 films enter, 1 film leaves. The top 10 gives you a reckoning by the name of Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
Brought to you by the Schmoes Know Network. Take it away, boys. Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
This is an interesting one, man. Like, my friend Corey, Greathouse Sloan, give her a shout out from the beginning.
Yep.
She suggested underdog movies. That could go a million different directions.
It did, and
Right?
within the 2 choices made are 2 separate directions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
One is telling an earnest Olympic story, and
Yes.
the other is just a farcical comedy. And what did people gravitate towards?
Of course.
The farcical comedy.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah, Dodgeball won this one pretty hands down.
I mean, it was a runaway from the beginning.
The thing is, I don't know, like, I'm sure a decent amount of people have seen Eddie the Eagle.
Yeah, yeah.
But it kind of flew under the radar. So my guess is, of the people that voted, I would say 100% of the people vote, like, if you took the entire pool
Yeah.
of voted for A and for B,
Yeah.
of that group, I would say 90 to 95% more than likely has seen Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Whereas of that pool, who knows how many? 30%, 40% have seen Eddie the Eagle?
Yeah, and I think Kristen commented, I've already heard them talk about Eddie the Eagle enough. I want to hear them talk about Dodgeball. So it's
really?
it's an interesting...
When else does it come up? Maybe once?
Yeah, in a sports movie or whatever. We might have
we talk
mentioned
about
it.
it in biopics?
I thought we did. Yeah, we might have
Sports
mentioned
biopics?
it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, sure it was there.
Okay.
But Dodgeball
That would make sense.
hasn't crept into a lot of our lists at this point, I imagine.
No.
We don't tackle a lot of comedies. It's interesting. We don't like go after the comedies necessarily. So that might be something to look forward to.
Well, because I know you brought up in the past, my problem with it is because comedic taste is so subjective.
Yes, true.
But I think, if we've done in the past, like top 90s
Yeah.
X, and we have a couple comedy ideas coming up. I just think it's harder to basically put it in a box so you can winnow down the choices.
Right.
Kind of thing. Because like you can do a comedy about damn near everything.
Yeah, you can.
But with this, like,
We've seen Holocaust comedies.
Yeah, we have.
It's nuts.
Shit, there was a TV show where the Nazis were zany, fun guys.
Yeah, Hogan's Heroes. That's right.
With this, it's so weird when you look back at it because this was Vince Vaughn and at his height.
Yes.
Kind of. Maybe it was on the early part of his height.
Yeah, it's in the.
It's in that ballpark, but it's not
It's
like
after Swingers, so
Yeah.
it's certainly in his height.
But I think it might be after what Old School came first, no, and then Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers, right?
So I don't know where it was in that context because that's when he was at his height. Then Ben Stiller was basically on the start of his height.
Yes.
And you get these 2 guys, and they chose this. I mean, it's such a strange choice to make.
Yeah.
It makes for an entertaining movie, but it's just like it's one zany character after another, and somehow by the collective nature of the fact that they're all kind of pathetic.
Yes.
It's like, okay, I'm fine with the fact that one dude, Alan Tudyk is a pirate.
Pirate.
He's Juilliard trained.
Yeah.
And then, Yar! But it's a paycheck.
And this is the same year. Yeah, Old School had come out the year before.
Okay.
But then Starsky and Hutch had come out this 2004 year because that's Dodgeball came out in 2004, and his like stint in Legend of Ron Burgundy and Anchorman was this same year as well. And then the next year was Wedding Crashers. So I think this is the crest.
This is
of
right
his
in the
wave.
Well, he had 3 movies out in 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a man who is in high demand.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is part of the better, like, because there are some in the mix of Vince Vaughn where just like everything around you, I still like you.
Yes.
But I think what's around you isn't succeeding, so I don't enjoy it as much.
He's got an interesting career because I'm like he was in Swingers, but then he goes into Lost World, Jurassic Park.
I did that Psycho remake.
Yeah, the Psycho remake, and then that weird. So he did some dramas, like he was in The Cell, the Jennifer Lopez film with D'Onofrio. and then he goes to Zoolander, and then Domestic Disturbance, that thing. So it's an interesting career he's had, and he just recently did a prison movie that was hardcore.
I haven't seen that one. I saw
apparently.
Shot Collar.
Yeah.
And then
was that good? Did you like it?
Yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna see that then. All right. If you liked it, I'm gonna see.
Yeah,
it.
it was interesting. You could ask yourself why certain choices, like why the character would make certain choices, but at the same time, like I'm not faulting it for it. I just find it interesting that the character made that choice.
Yeah, fair.
Just like it's just a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
What's his name? I mean, I can remotely try pronounce his name.
Nicholas Coster-Waldau.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
That I get right, but Lena Headey I can't fucking get right. Ah!
What
Anyway,
do you say? Headley?
Headley, yeah.
Headley Lamar.
He knew who the
Headley.
fuck I was talking about, but I lost the match anyway. By the way, this is John Roca.
Hi, I'm Matt Noakes.
This is the top 10 show Thunderdome. So just in case you're wondering what
And
you tuned
the
into.
two people that
Oh, yeah.
Corey chose the topic,
Yes.
and then she has complimented us that we got it right, and I don't know if we've since screwed it up, but I'm going to say Trine, or Trine. Tren is what I'm going to go with.
You should go all three.
Mogard, Mogaard.
Okay.
And then the other one was much easier. So she chose Eddie the Eagle, and then Zach Butts
Yes.
chose Dodgeball. So Zach, you are the winner. Congratulations.
Yeah, good job, Zach.
Yeah. You put up a valiant fight.
Way to read the crowd,
Okay.
Zach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this was the overwhelming winner.
Yeah.
It's really weird because like Ben Stiller's, he played this character in Heavyweights, and he kind of
Yes.
played this character in Billy Madison.
Yeah.
And it's like it's interesting that you found early work playing this type of guy.
Yeah.
It's so weird compared to everything else they play. You still have the mania in other roles,
Sure.
but not the dickheadishness.
No.
He never really revisits that, and I don't think he should. It always felt kind of strange.
Well, a lot of people who've, and this is, how can I say this correctly so you don't get, like, I know people who've worked on sets with him, and he can be this way. And so
Okay.
that's all I'll say. Like, it's a gear he definitely has in his human repertoire. So to see it done this way, but he always does it in a comical way in pretty much all the movies when he does
yeah.
show it, right? You know, because he's done some serious movies like Permanent Midnight and a couple other films. He's done serious stuff, but when he turns it on, it always works very, very well in the comical films because most of the other films, he always plays this guy who's out of his depth in every situation, like Along Came Polly, Heartbreak
That
Kid.
seems the more natural choice.
Yeah, right. All these films where he's like the underdog, Flirting with Disaster, even, which is kind of a semi-serious independent film, he's out of his depth in these films, and so to see him play these other parts is actually a nice change of pace when he gets it, when he nails it, and I think he does nail it in Dodgeball really well. Like those overt gym guys, you know, that like they're defined by their gym.
It's
nothing
taken
else.
it to an nth degree.
Yeah, right.
Because I mean, I've belonged to a lot of gyms in my life.
Yeah.
But I've never been to one like that.
Yeah. Oh,
where
really? Oh,
it's,
yeah.
What, Equinox on steroids? Like,
Kinda.
yeah, I've never belonged to any of those. I've belonged to some that are like hardcore serious. There are guys that are lifting in here for competitions and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
like golds and shit. Yeah.
well, I used to belong to a World Gym in San Diego.
World, yeah.
And like some of the Charger offensive linemen would work out there in the off season and stuff. But it was a huge place, and if you went for, you know, it's not open 24 hours. I think it's open like 16 hours. If you went for 14 hours of the day, and this 2-floor massive, it's twice as large as anything I've seen here in town kind of places. There's 8 people, 10 people. The dues are really low. All the weights are re-racked.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Everybody takes care of it. It's busy every once and again. Just like people, but this is, you know, do another sit-up, fatty. There's a TV on the wall. I do love the choice of like, he's got the cod piece that can pump up.
Yes.
It's a great little character choice. That he's just
Because-
thinks so little of himself.
Well, and also because he's taking a shot at these gym guys who think because they lift muscles, they somehow have big balls or large dicks.
it proves them as
when
men.
most of the
Look how big I am.
Yeah.
That means I'm more of a man
Right.
than you.
It's overcompensating.
It is.
Like no different than an expensive car or a big house. You're overcompensating for your small penis, or
Or
you know,
walking around with a dictionary. You read
Yeah.
the dictionary?
You read the-
I also like to work out my mind. And you're like, you know what? This seems very much, you know, a shallow attempt this
Yeah.
character would, you know, try to give to the world to show that he is complex.
Yeah.
And he's interesting.
Yeah. But it's a funny film. Vince Vaughn does a nice job. And this is an interesting crew of people when you've got all what do you got? What's his name?
You got
Joseph-
Rip Torn.
yeah.
You got Alan Tudyk. You got
Yeah.
Justin Long.
Justin Long. That's the name I was trying
You
to think
got
of.
why am I going to blank on his name? Amazing actor. He's an O brother. He was the
Oh,
stapler
Stephen
guy.
Root. Yeah, Stephen
Yeah,
Root.
Stephen Root.
Yeah. And this is it a black guy or Indian guy? Who's the
a black guy, but I can't place what else he's been in.
Yeah. I thought it was the guy from Office Space, but it's not. It's a different dude.
No, it's a totally different. Dude.
Right, but I've
the
seen
guy
him in a
this
number
is
of
bigger,
things. Yeah,
like more athletic-y kind of build. And is that it? Is that the core? I think that is the core.
and then of course Christine Taylor comes in eventually. Yeah, to
Ben's
be part
wife.
of it. Yeah, Ben's wife. But then on the other side, you have Missy Pyle as the ugly Russian girl.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because Missy Pyle's
dorky kid that
beautiful.
falls in love with her.
Oh, right, that guy.
Yeah.
He's been in a few things and he's still working. Yeah, he was like.
I met him at Comic-Con.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. He's a tall dude.
I think it was him. I met so many people
Yeah.
that they all kind of merge into one. But when we did that app thing, I think he was one of the ones where I was alone for a morning for like 3 hours by myself.
Gotcha.
And he came in. I'd have to go back. I wish there was a way to find that.
Yeah.
He shot the shit so well, I wanted him on the show.
Oh, shit.
Because we ended up just like, he was genuinely the only one when he left. I was like, man, I could have fucking talked to him all day.
Yeah.
Like just easy breezy. We're sitting there shooting the shit and making fun of each other and whatnot. Just kind of got along, and it was like, wow, you got anything to do?
Yeah.
Like hang out here. Let's talk to the people and kind of thing. But he had to move on and go do other things.
Well, he's an interesting cat because
I think it was him.
He gave interviews where he talked about like he made a conscious decision to change his life so that he would be booking more. Like he didn't book a lot as an actor. And so he made all these changes. He became very ruthless in his approach to it, and he said it changed his career. Like he cut out all these people that had negative energy around him, and he like lost this weight, and he got in, and he grew the beard out a little bit. Like he just kind of focused on trying to like harder become an actor.
I can't even what weight did he have to lose? He was so skinny.
Joel David Moore, that's the guy's name.
Okay.
And so yeah, he like just made these changes. So he gave these interviews about this time he was booking a lot of things like Dodgeball and he was saying this is the things that I did to become more successful, and it was very ruthless in its approach. I don't mean mean. I mean, ruthless. It was his only focus.
Yeah.
And so I have to respect that, because he did. He shows up in a Katy Perry music video, that Waking Up in Vegas video. He's her love interest in the show, rather, in the video.
Which song?
Waking Up in Vegas. The song, Waking Up.
Song?
Yeah, that's the name of the song. And so it's a cute song, and she's great in it.
Surprised by how many Katy Perry songs I like.
This is a Katy Perry show, the Top 10 show. This is not a Taylor Swift show. We are Team Katy Perry.
I don't know enough about Taylor Swift.
Thank you. That's a good answer.
I've heard a little bit of that 1984 album.
Yeah.
It's fine.
89.
89.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever the fuck it is. I liked it with a more Orwellian kind of bent to it.
I like that I corrected you about that. That's terrible. We're
That's
old
fine.
men. We should not be
I just
knowing
know
this shit.
more so Katy Perry, like Firework.
Yeah, Fireworks.
Dude, the first time I heard that song, I was like, I can't even imagine being like 13 right now. 'Cause
Yeah.
This is the song of my summer.
Of
like
course.
this will define me on some level for a summer.
Yeah.
Because it got me, that you could have used that in 100 movies. I know they use it in a couple, but like when
Trailers
I saw it in,
and shit. Yeah.
Madagascar 3 or whatever that was,
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
perfect for this. But she's had a few songs like that. It was like, wow, man, if I was the right age, I would, when I'm 20 years from now, because they don't realize it, that song will play and it'll bring back a couple memories.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember hearing that here and here and here.
Well, Teenage Dream is that for me, Teenage Dream.
Sure.
Because that ex that I talk about every once in a while, like when we got back into each other's life, I was 40, she was 38.
Listen to Teenage Dream.
So when we got back together, because we'd known each other in high school,
Okay.
we had got kind of caught up in the love of us, and Teenage Dream was our like theme song because it made us feel like we were going back in time.
Yeah, and young and alive,
of
and
course. It was a lie, but yeah, at the time it was certainly believable and great. And so she'll always say, but I'm a fan of her music. I even like those last two songs, Swish Swish and Bon Appetit. I still like those songs. Yeah, so
I mean, maybe if you played them, but I couldn't.
yeah, right, no problem, man.
I search. I don't listen to the radio, and
Yeah.
I don't watch. I stream everything.
Yeah.
So unless I specifically seek it out, although I have specifically sought her out on like iTunes and put it on the car, where I'll just play like a few tracks.
Yeah.
Like randomly of hers that I know that I like.
Wide Awake is a fucking great. Wide Awake is my favorite Katy Perry song. That's a fucking good song.
Okay.
It just starts out, I'm wide awake, and bam, and you're into it. And it's very empowering, but from a raw place, as opposed to like Firework, which is very like simplistic in its approach to like how you need to embrace your body and embrace who you are. Wide Awake is like, I need to wake up
I've
from the
heard that
bullshit
song.
of this
Does
this
it have,
fake
like,
relationship.
in the background, there's a slowly dwindling awake.
Yeah. It's a good song, man.
I know. I remember the first time I was like, you know what? And I did it with iTunes. And I'm like, I want to hear that fireworks song. It was like a year and a half ago or something.
Yeah.
And then below it was like, well, if you like that song, you probably like this song. And I played that, and I was like, oh, yeah, I do like this Katy Perry song. And it went like 3 deep. And then the next one was that Alien one with Kanye.
Oh, yeah, E.T.
That's, I don't fucking get that at all. That
That's
was
a weird
hit.
little song. It
That
was
was a hit.
kind of a hit. Not a big hit, but it was kind of a hit. The music video was worth it. The music video is incredible.
Yeah, that song sucked.
Yeah. But she's also had those like a TG what's the TGIF one that she had about like last Saturday night or last Friday night. Last Friday night, that was a great little song. And in the music video, Britney Spears was her mom in the music video with Corey Feldman as her dad, and Kenny G shows up. It's just a fun little time.
Wow, that is a weird choice.
Yeah, it was like an 8-minute music video. It's really strange, but like her stuff is. I just find her stuff more fun. I guess I would say. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have depth. It's just more fun. You know, I see Taylor trying to be relevant, whereas Katy is just happy being herself, and I enjoy listening to her music like that. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm Team Katy. What can I tell?
Well, so
Anyway.
what are Taylor's fans called? Swiftheads? What are these?
Yeah, Swifties, I think, yeah. And we're going to get destroyed now because when they hear anybody negative, they're going to destroy us. So we'll see.
I don't. Do you really think we have
No.
Swifties?
No.
Please. It's
Maybe Kristen Smith is a Swiftie.
It's the Juggalo girl. Is basically. It's not
Or
saying that they
Aaliyah.
are like Juggalos. I'm saying it's like a weird subset of people that so identify with a musical
Yeah.
act that they have named themselves. It's like the Kiss Army back in the day or anything else.
Yeah.
When you fervently love any one band. And this is
Yeah.
talking from a guy. I felt that way about Fish. I used to follow them around
my
on
God.
tour, and I love that band.
Dude, I have a lot of friends like you who like swear by fucking Fish.
I don't
It's
listen to them
insane.
anymore because I'm not kidding. For like 5 years of my life, I listened to nothing else.
Yeah.
I traded bootlegs. I went to concerts. I'd go see like 10 concerts over the summer, and then a couple in fall and spring. At that time, they were going to like Europe and stuff, so I didn't get to see any of those.
Yeah.
Saw a Halloween show. So like, yeah, but anybody that's listening and never got to, like, yeah, I got to see a Halloween show, and they're impressed.
Yeah.
Like that's how much I got into them. I flew, across the country.
Right.
And drove around everywhere. But if you're really holding on to that for like beyond when you're younger,
Yeah.
if there's like a 40-year-old Swiftie,
Yeah. You gotta. Yeah.
you got something.
You gotta move on.
You know what? Why don't you devote that energy to all the cats you have?
Well,
Because they might be now malnourished. The 17 of them over there.
that's like the bronies. The bronies, those dudes in their 40s who are like big fans of My Little Pony
I don't
show. It's
understand
insane.
that at all.
Yeah, it's very strange. And my friend Michael Vogel is the executive producer of some of that stuff. To him, it's an interesting phenomenon. No judgment.
That's a nice
no
political way.
judgment. Like no judgment.
He
It's an
can't.
interesting
Those people
phenomenon.
are buying the product,
Yeah,
watching the
exactly.
shows.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't hate on them for loving it.
Nope.
I just don't understand. Like, how are there this many people that hit upon this?
Yeah. It's
It
just
said, I want to dress up like this.
it's a pop culture thing, man. Some people find this kind of niche.
Don't you think that was like from the internet?
Well, look at people dressing up cosplay as superheroes and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but nobody else, like, there's not a revisionist history on, like, what was it, the Strawberry Shortcake?
It's
or
funny.
Light Bright? Or no, was it Rainbow Bright?
It's funny you say that.
There's a whole subset of people.
Well, there's possibly a thing in the works for Strawberry Shortcake.
Yeah. But I'm saying
Yeah.
these people independently all
Oh, yes.
started
Right.
fantasizing and
Yeah.
latching onto this culture independent of.
Well, because
Like, I'm blown away by the fact that if my question is, if there was no internet, would these people exist? Because I'm sure some of them would.
Oh, yeah.
But now that they know that there are others out there,
Yes.
it allows them to explore the idea of
Absolutely.
what's possible.
I agree. 1,000%.
So would this exist? Like, would there be clubs around the country
Yeah,
without the
yeah.
internet? If
It's a
this
good
was
question.
1982?
Yeah.
Like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff?
It's a good
The
question.
Dirty Little Secret? Or... I don't know, but at the same time, like, enough people have played that where I bet you that's got to be fun on some level.
Well, D&D is coming back. People
Yeah,
are
yeah,
starting
yeah.
to become dungeon masters and holding stuff in
Well,
basements.
I think you can thank Stranger Things for that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Introducing it to a whole new generation saying, hey, it's not dorky.
Yeah.
I might have liked that as a kid. Because there are things that, like, I didn't play Risk as a kid, but now me and some of my buddies,
Yeah.
I didn't play until I was like 27.
Ooh.
And now me and some of my buddies show up. We'll get a burr under our saddle,
Yeah.
and we'll play like 2 times in a month.
Right.
We'll show up like, hey, anybody got anything to do this Friday?
Right.
And we all have jobs with fluctuating schedules, and if we can line it up, we'll show up and play like 2 to 3 games.
Wow.
Yeah, there was
That's
like
great.
4 of us, and there's a rotating one. Sometimes one of us can't make it, and another guy will come in, but there's always 4 of us.
Yeah.
But it's like I got into random things like that when I was older.
Yeah.
That I didn't know I enjoyed. So maybe I would like D&D. I can guarantee I'm not a brony.
Yeah, well, true. Me either. But I don't know. I can't do the D&D. I really can't. I just don't. It's too far for me to go.
I don't know.
It's too deep in the nerddom. I tried a couple times when I was younger, and
I didn't even know
couldn't.
what you roll dice. You got to visualize.
Well, you
You're
have
creating a character. The
have a-
character can die.
Is it a games master or something? Like
Yeah.
they guide you through everything, and so what you roll depends on if you live or die. And I did an RPG over at Hyper, the studios. I did a Star Wars RPG, Pencils and Parsecs, on 2 episodes. It was a lot of fun.
Okay.
But I think that was more enjoyable because that's a world I understand, Star Wars.
Sure.
But something like Dungeons and Dragons, where it's like, dragons and paladins and
Yeah.
all this kind of shit. Like,
I
it's
cast
not
a
much.
spell of invincibility.
Yeah, exactly. I just can't go that far. I cannot go. And no disrespect to anybody who is a massive D&D fan, because there's a lot of people that are. Much respect. It's my issue. It's not yours. It's my issue that I can't gravitate to it.
Well,
So.
it's like anything.
Yeah.
You got to pick and choose where you spend your time.
Exactly.
And
Especially with the limited
you-
time we have.
Yeah, exactly. You just ultimately end up dismissing about 99.9% of things in life. Like,
Right.
yeah, I'd rather do this.
Exactly.
Even if sometimes this is nothing.
Well, let's
Because
not.
I'm too lazy or just I'm tired or whatever the case is.
Yeah, you hit that wall. Well, let's not dismiss the movie. We still have to talk about the movie.
That's true. You do have to eventually get to it.
So yeah, they're an underdog gym. They're gonna, if they don't make this money, they're gonna go under. And what is it bequeathed to him? What's the situation with Vince Vaughn's connection
I
to the
can't
gym?
remember. I know he owns it, and then
Yeah, he owns it. That's
He's
right.
in foreclosure
Yeah,
with the bank. So Globo Gym next door wants to buy it
Globo Gym, man.
and turn it into a parking lot.
Yeah.
A parking structure for their for their clientele.
Right.
And so Stephen Root just happens to read Obscure Sports Quarterly. I love that they set that up in his character. Hey, what are you doing? Shouldn't you be on the treadmill or something like
Yeah.
that? Just over here reading Obscure Sports Quarterly. And 20 minutes later, that magazine, gives him the idea. And then there's a qualifying tournament that just
Yeah.
there's a lot of. But at the same time, this story is so ridiculous.
It is.
There's no point in making the stakes real.
No, but what's great is all the actors are creating like actually interesting characters in
Yeah.
this stupid little comedy. But
They're
it
committed.
works because you sense the commitment from the actors, and the scenes are funny because of that, and they're kind of heartfelt and sweet because of it as well, which I was surprised by.
The movie, to me, absolutely sings when we get to Bateman and
Holy shit, Gary Cole.
Gary Cole.
Yes.
That's when it was like, man, I wish you guys had more of them.
Yeah.
Like somehow they were on the TV in the background earlier on. Like
Yeah.
what? They played dodgeball and they just cut to them like
Yeah.
doing a match or somewhere. Somehow bring them in because every time, just like this is fantastic. I love how cocky Bateman is.
Yeah.
We're talking about dodgeball. Like it's a world in which dodgeball guys can make money.
Yeah.
Playing dodgeball.
Of course.
It doesn't make any sense. Like you know Chase Budinger used to.
Yeah, of course.
So there was a
Ball player.
story on ESPN that he is now a professional volleyball player.
Wow.
And that struck me as like, yeah, I like that does exist, but at the same time, it's weird to me that people make money playing sandball. Like there's enough money in the world where you can make an honest, good living playing sand volleyball.
Well, people make money doing CrossFit competitions, and that's even more niche than volleyball.
See, but I think more people fucking are in CrossFit than play volleyball.
No, man, have you gone to California beaches on a Sunday and they're just playing for fun?
Yeah.
Entire like swaths of beach is spent with people playing volleyball on multiple courts.
Yeah, but at the same time, there are certain
And that's
sections of
just
town.
LA.
There's a CrossFit. It's almost like a Starbucks. There's a CrossFit
Yes.
across from a CrossFit
Yeah,
across
sure.
from a CrossFit.
Yeah, sure.
Like I've seen those in every city I've been to in the last 5 years. Eventually, I will drive past a CrossFit. Whereas you're not playing beach volleyball in Iowa.
No, well, no, you're right. That's right. That's a good point.
So
Okay.
it's only
all right, fair.
that to me where, that's all I'm saying. So I was like, wow, world. But in this world, Jason Bateman,
Yeah.
so not only does volleyball play well enough, it's also broadcast on TV on the Ocho.
On the Ocho, ESPN El
Yeah,
Ocho.
it was
Yes.
great. It was a Bill Simmons joke that ended up
Yeah.
coming true, or at least being mocked
Yeah.
in another way. I wonder if the writer of that used to listen to him. I remember when he brought it up.
Yeah.
It's just like, on what I would do on the fight. That's great if I had this channel on the Ocho. But just every time they went to them. But you know what? I liked ultimately like the heart of the character of the winning side. It
Yeah.
feels honest and earned.
Yeah.
When they ultimately where it's going.
Yeah.
It's not like if we were to spoil it right now, you couldn't guess it from the outset.
But it's got the weird stuff. Like, it's got weird little subplots with Steve the pirate. Like, what's the whole thing with Alan Tudyk? It never really gets explained.
No.
But it's his
Why
way.
he's a pirate?
Right. He's just this kind of like
He just is.
social misfit who finds his self-esteem in playing a pirate and being a pirate and talking this way and putting
Somehow
a patch
he's an
on.
average Joe, quote unquote.
Exact. Boom. Nailed it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's an interesting film. And I think it is mildly subversive in that in Ben Stiller making fun of the, guys who spend too much time in the gym lifting weights. But also the ESPN El Ocho is making fun a little bit of ESPN and the color guys.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that they'll televise anything.
Well, and also the way the color guys will be stating the obvious and then getting paid millions of dollars. Say, if the other team scores more points than the other team, they're going to win the game. And they're doing all of that. Like, that's what Bateman is doing. And it's genius. It's fucking genius. And then you throw in Chuck Norris as the judge. William Shatner, I think, is in there. And then you have that weird vignette. Now it's a stupid vignette with Lance Armstrong at the bar with Vince. You have all of those things thrown in. That makes it a fun film to watch and it was
pure
nice to watch it
escapism.
again. Yeah.
If you just want to, because it's 92 minutes with credits.
Yeah.
So it's like $1.25 or $1.27, something like
At
that.
most, yeah.
Yeah. So if you just want to turn something on, tune your brain out, and just smile and laugh for 92 minutes, it's the perfect movie for that. Because it doesn't ask anything challenging of you. It just says, basically, do you want to have a good time?
Yeah.
Because I was made entirely just to enjoy ourselves for 90 minutes.
And this is a real thing. Like in LA, there are legitimate dodgeball leagues.
I got a buddy that's in one.
Yeah. People are super intense about dodgeball, man. Like they're super intense about playing this game. I have watched a couple times. Like people get angry. They use that ball like a projectile, like a weapon. And so it's fascinating to watch how deep people get into this whole idea of dodgeball, man. Because it works on a social level too. It's like, you're going to get kicked out of the group. I'm going to be the last one standing. I will be the winner by destroying everyone in this place. And you're just like, this is a little little Lord of the Flies type of thing going on in dodgeball.
Yeah, but didn't you love dodgeball?
Of course.
It was my favorite.
Yeah.
Whenever we got to dodgeball day, I was like, oh, this is the best. I was good at it too. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Kickball was my thing. I was way better at kickball than dodgeball because I was a fat kid, so I was hit all the time with the dodgeball.
So my buddy that's in a league here, he was an All-American pitcher.
Holy shit.
And you're like, that's not a good idea. We used to be on a flag football team, and he was our quarterback. Like, he's got an arm. And you're like, I can't imagine getting peppered in the face by you.
Yeah.
I don't care how, rubber red ball that is. That's still going to leave a mark.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the film ends, the whole romance of Christine Taylor and Vince Vaughn, which is really fun. And standard stuff for that time of those comedies, and I love the moped thing with Stiller and all of it. It's just very interesting and funny. Then you get to the final battle, and then you have all the judge stuff going on, and then they come back and win, and it's really great the way it all happens. Like you still get caught up in the
you still
in the film.
You're rooting for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want them to win because if Ben Stiller wins, then the world isn't right.
Yeah,
and I love that his character is so pathetically fragile that losing a meaningless tournament to him, he only did just a basically jab in the eye somebody he didn't particularly care for.
Yeah.
Because they didn't win that, it shatters him and he goes and reverts back to the person that he hated before.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
He's this large.
That character is so pathetic.
Yeah. It's almost this close. It's like a cousin of Fat Bastard from Austin Powers. He's like this big dude eating the
gross,
fried chicken.
sweaty, fat suit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's
unsettling as hell.
not fun to watch.
Well, I think that's the film.
Yeah, I would say that's Dodgeball.
Yeah. I want to make a quick cut here.
Well, first off, thank you to Corey Greathouse Sloan.
Yes, thank you, Corey.
Trim Mogard and
for
Zach
so many
Butts.
reasons. Yep.
It was awesome. We're so glad everybody got their choices in, and Zach, congrats on the win. We'll have another one coming up in the not too distant future. I will get it right this month as opposed to having to rush it like I did last month.
It's all right. It worked out.
And we have some more ideas for Patreon. Graphic designers, if you want to send us whatever shirt ideas you have. We've already had a few people reach out and send us some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So just email us whatever you'd like. And we're one guy's he came up with his own compensation. Hey, would you be willing to do this? And it was will we give him a shout out and potentially put up a link somewhere to his store?
Absolutely.
I was like, 100%, man. Yeah. And then I went and checked out a store. He actually has a shirt that I like and I might buy.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, we'll figure out because we want to help you since you're helping us.
Yeah.
We're not just asking for free. If we could do something to help you, we're more than happy to do it, and we're potentially pay or whatever the case is. We'll work it out. So graphic designers, reach out and be like, we'll give you ideas if you need ideas.
And be inventive, be interesting. If you're a fan of the show, you know how the show works. You want to convey the vibe of the show in the T-shirt. That's really important. And do that. And maybe even design some Shimodown ones that we could wear on the show and walk out in the T-shirts on the show and give you even more credit. So all of it is possible. So all of it is in play at this point.
Yeah, or if you're looking for suggestions, hit us up and we'd be like, you know what? We like these colors.
Yeah.
Here are some of the design aesthetics we like.
Yeah.
Just to give you a rough primer of maybe it'll spark an idea out of you. You're like, oh, you like that? No, it makes me think of this.
Yeah.
And then you do whatever you want. But anyway, please just let us know because we want to get those T-shirts out sometime soon. Because I want to own one.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I do. But okay, so we had talked off air. We started talking basketball.
Yeah.
So if those that are done and don't want to listen to sports, thank you so much for listening to this week's Thunderdome. We're going to quickly talk about the trade deadline that happened a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And whatever. We'll have a quick discussion. What do you think?
Yeah. I think this is incredible. I've never seen anything like this. Are you all right?
Yeah, my nose is itching like crazy. I don't know why. Keep going.
I've never seen. Once you start to go crazy,
it's like the last 5 minutes just building up.
It's the happening. You're gonna start going insane.
Never saw that
stupid movie. Oh god!
I saw so many people mock it,
Yeah.
like openly, and they all. You'd have to do like one line,
Yeah.
and people would be like, "Oh, that fucking movie." Like, I don't need to see that.
I think it's a fantastic thing. I was really surprised at what Kobe Altman was able to do. From the Cavaliers and make all these moves. And of course the Blake Griffin move was the big, like huge move in terms of the biggest star to move. And that was a surprise out of nowhere really. But this, you essentially on the fly completely revamped your team. And this is like playing fantasy basketball, and you get to add drop 6 players instead of 4 one week, and you just completely retool your entire team. And there's people on the waiver wire that are actually younger, can play defense, can shoot, know how to play with LeBron's style of basketball. And you picked almost perfectly every person to bring in to help LeBron have a shot at getting to the finals. They're not going to beat Golden State with the team they have now, but they'll at least possibly get to the finals, and that's really the goal of LeBron every year, to win the championship, have a shot at winning the championship.
I mean, yes, on paper, the trade is fantastic.
Right. All around.
Couldn't believe it.
Yep.
Couldn't believe it. And, I understood it for the most part from all sides. I mean, the Lakers did this just to free up cap space because they want to chase potentially 2 superstars over the summer.
Yep.
And if Randall's going to be playing better, then Nance you can sacrifice, and you don't want to pay Clarkson what Clarkson feels like he's going to to be owed.
Right.
Especially when Lou Williams is making, $8 million, $9 million now?
Yeah.
I know. It's ridiculous because then you look at other contracts like, what is his name? Tyler Johnson on Miami, and you're like, man, you are so lucky you became a free agent.
At the right time.
Yeah, at the perfect time.
Yep.
Because your contract is ridiculous. In no way are you worth anywhere near the money you are getting paid. It's amazing.
What was that guy? I forget, the Kentucky guy that got paid, and everyone was like, "What?" And he was out of the league in like 3 years. He made all this money
From
as
when?
a center, like in the
Sam Bowie?
early 2000s. I can't remember who it was. The center,
Early
but
2000s.
he made so much money, and it's like because he came out at the time when it was a center deficient league. He was able to parlay the money and make all
Kentucky?
This. I think it was from Kentucky. I can't remember.
Do you know who he played for?
No, one of the teams he played for was Minnesota, and he's got a weird kind of name like Amin or something like that. I can't remember the guy's name. I wish I could remember.
Wow, I am utterly blanking.
But he got paid like $97 million because he came out when they were paying big men $18 million a year to play, because at the time it hadn't made the full transition into the league that it is now, the 3-point shooting league it is now. It was still about centers. And so he was a guy that was a serviceable center, but he came out at a certain time And because he became a free agent at a certain time, his agent was able to negotiate like insane deal for this guy. And then he was done in 3 years. And that's what happened to these guards in 2016, I think, or 2015.
Everybody, though.
They came out and made all this money. Now these guards can't make that money anymore.
No,
with the salary cap and all that
Nick
shit.
Batum
Nicholas Batum, yeah.
He's a forward.
Yeah.
But, I mean, his contract is obscene.
Yeah.
And that's what they were trying to package with Kemba Walker.
Yeah.
If they can get rid of Kemba. They just couldn't get big enough anything back. I mean, yeah, on paper, I like what the Cavs did.
Yeah.
On paper.
Rodney Hood.
They now have
George Hill.
30 games to somehow figure out 6 new players.
And
that's the problem.
And integrate Kevin Love when he comes back from injury.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Boston and Toronto, I mean, I was surprised Toronto didn't do anything, even a small little thing, because they got a bunch of younger guys that are all kind of serviceable. They're good players. Maybe you could bundle those assets and get something better. I don't know. I'm sure Masai tried.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're playing insanely well, so why mess with it?
Yeah.
And then if the Celtics get Gordon Hayward back, which is,
certainly possible.
More than likely, it seems like everything is trending towards him coming back during the playoffs or maybe a little before or something, which is amazing.
Yeah. And the rumors were they're supposed to get Paul Millsap as a waiver, because he bought himself out. It was waived.
Millsap from Denver?
Isn't that right? Isn't that?
They got Monroe.
Greg Monroe. Greg Monroe.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Sorry, Monroe. They signed him, right? And he took him off. So now they've got even more presence in the middle and a passing center like Monroe. So it's like the Celtics are setting themselves up really, really well to walk into this postseason. And it's so insane that Hayward would only just be a piece of the puzzle, not like the essential piece of the puzzle coming into this situation.
So exactly. So now the Cavs need to fold in.
Yeah.
And I just don't think Lou is good enough.
As a coach.
Yeah, to figure out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not an intelligent individual.
No, of course.
But he's shown this year he couldn't figure out lineups, and all the players were kind of, sniping him from behind, being we don't make any changes. These lineups are stagnant. Yeah. Certain guys are pouting.
Yeah.
Like JR was upset early because Wade was taking it, but I guess now the stories are coming out that Wade was not too liked in the locker room.
Yeah.
But he had to be respected because he's best friends with LeBron.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Right.
And it only gives credence to, had they kept it the way it was, then it makes it easier for LeBron to leave, as opposed to they got younger and better now. Mm-hmm. They're over the tax threshold by a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
$50 million.
Yeah, and but it makes it easier to sell the team if Gilbert's going to sell the team this way.
If LeBron stays.
Because they're set up. They're set up if LeBron leaves. Even if LeBron leaves, they're still set up to a degree for the future with Hood and with Hill, with Nance, because Nance is from Akron, so he's from the same town as LeBron. So there's elements of this that will make it easier for this team for the fans to get somewhat behind this team because they're younger. If LeBron had left and you're left with J.R. Smith and Shumpert and Wade and Rose, no one would go see
Rose
that fucking
was a one-year deal. Wade was in essence a one-year deal.
Yeah. But you got to sign somebody.
Yeah, well, they had to keep that Brooklyn pick because now, say LeBron leaves, well, you might be able to package the Brooklyn pick with Kevin Love,
sure,
and get something really huge back in return, or start turning
or find a LeBron in the draft, possibly,
or package. Well, I mean, who knows where that Brooklyn pick is going to end up because there's 7 teams with, in essence, the same record at the very bottom of the league. So they have a shot at getting the number 1 overall. They do. I don't know how great that chance is. I mean, I thought it was, I liked it I understand from Utah's perspective because they don't want to pay Rodney Hood because sometimes he's great, sometimes he's not, just like Clarkson. Sometimes Clarkson's amazing, sometimes he's, he disappears. And what's his name? George Hill, stay healthy. He's on the hook for $20 million next year or $19 million or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I got it. I liked I do. I don't know if it's as successful as it looks on paper.
Yeah. It feels a little like the old Cleveland teams when you had Boogie. Well, who was it? The shooter? Who was that guy? Boogie. You had Delonte West.
Oh, yeah.
He dragged those
Delonte
teams.
Ilgauskas.
Yeah.
The Brazilian guy.
Fuck.
Shit. Why am I blanking on his name?
Varejao.
Great hair.
Anderson Varejao.
Yeah, Varejao.
Varejao, sorry, yeah.
And then
who's the 3-point
Mo
guy?
Williams?
Mo Williams, yeah. And who was the 3-pointer? Like Boogie, whatever his name was. It would hit
there's
those.
a Booby.
Booby, that's it. Yeah, he
Booby
would hit
Gibson?
those. Booby Gibson hit those 3-pointers. So
But the thing is, the last time a team traded 6 players
Yeah.
was when LeBron was with the Cavs
that's what I'm saying.
before he left.
This feels like
Yeah.
the old school Cavs team that he's going to drag to the finals because they're young and they can shoot and they can feed off LeBron. They still respect LeBron for what he's done.
I just don't know.
And then they won't do it. But I don't know if what they've done is enough to beat the Celtics. I think Toronto is still fragile till they prove to me they can get it to the. They're still
Till they
fragile.
can win the first game in a playoff series,
Yes.
I'm not going to believe it.
Absolutely.
Win game 1 of any round.
Yeah.
You lose it every time. It's
Every
like
damn
clockwork.
time.
It's amazing. Whereas I just think the Cavs, like, okay, maybe they do get it all together, but the problem is they're going up against well-oiled machines.
Yeah.
And LeBron can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah.
And love their next best players coming back from injury. Now you're relying on J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, and guys that haven't played in this system, which is basically try and figure out how to be effective around LeBron.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the offense.
Yeah. It'll be fun to watch though. I'm actually looking forward to seeing them play now, and I have not looked forward to seeing the Cavs play all year because they were so old and decrepit and didn't look like they give a shit.
Yeah.
So I want to see what these young guys do with him. But either way, it's gonna to beat Brad Stevens and Kyrie the way he's playing right now, and that team. It's going to take a Herculean effort, and if it goes to a 7-game series, maybe that's enough. But that's about it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll see how they play through the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll be fun to
before
watch.
I start thinking about that, but right now it's just
Yeah.
that eventual Rockets Warriors series is going to be fantastic. That's the championship.
Yep.
If those two end up, but they should. I don't see how they don't.
Harden is even better than last
I
year.
know.
If that's
Chris Paul
fucking
looks
possible.
amazing
Yes,
too.
he does.
And so does Capella.
Capella,
and
yep.
it just across the board, everybody's playing lights out for them. Eric Gordon.
Yep.
Although his 3-point shooting has dipped a little bit. What are you going to do?
I mean, yeah, it's going to be a fun playoffs, man. And I can't. I might even record games this year in a way that I've never done before because I just want to see good basketball like this. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
All right, well, that's our Thunderdome episode. Thanks everybody for listening to us and listening to us talk a little NBA. I know you guys ask about it all the time. So, Alexakos, I hope you enjoyed that. I know you love the NBA stuff. But yeah, thanks everyone. And as Matt said, if you want to be a patron, go to www.patreon.com/the-top10. Donate, and you can select a topic, and you can possibly be chosen to select a movie in that topic to have us talk about it. And of course, we'll talk about the movie, but then we go on our tangents and talk about what we want to talk about as well. That's part of the joy of Thunderdome. So we really appreciate you all listening to the show. Matt, where can people find you?
You can find me everywhere at Matt Knost, MATTKNOST.
And as always, the Facebook group is what again?
Facebook.com/groups/the top 10 show with the number 10.
There you go. And you can find me at The Roca Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And we'll see you next week for another episode of Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.